Friday night football, the margin is 37 points. On the way down, King got a hand to it. Hudson on his knees, got it out to West. A hurried kick towards the wing, tracking at his heel, controls it, tries to give it off. Ball did brilliantly. Advantage is paid. Well, Cross comes back nicely to Cooney, but he was under a fair degree of pressure, and now Murphy's got it in the pocket.
That was a really smart kick then by Scotty West out of the centre clearance, stalled the space out on the wing to Josh Hill.
No, we were.
Play on was the call. He was confronted by Del Santo. That's a beautiful kick. What a wonderful kick to Murphy. Dogs get their second.
They're trying to turn it around. They're doing their best.
That was a beautiful tap down to Cooney. Put his opponent under immediate pressure and set up this opportunity for Griffin, who kicks a goal.
He pushed Hahn in the back with his arm, but he just leaned on him.
Yep, it was well done. So did I. That was my initial reaction. Here's Hahn. Well done. Spins out of trouble and kicks a wonderful goal.
Out there tonight for either team. Hill, he played the one game last year, was on a Friday night here against West Coast. She's a likely type.
He's shown a lot of poise, hasn't he? Graham goes up, knocked it down to Sam Fisher. 3-on-2, they should prevail, and they do. Sam Fisher hadn't counted on the third, and Hill arriving quickly.
Milne was jumping in the air. They're edgy at the moment. The Bulldogs have got them on the ropes.
John Siracusa crossed the ground, found Cross, and now a chance for Gilby.
To Addison. Quick lead from Murphy, and he's going to go there now.
Gee, he's given him something since he went forward, hasn't he?
It's normally a great kick too, Tim, and he's just popped it up now. Hudson's a bit of a target. Here at the back, Big Will.
Well, David Swartz has been telling us he's been working with Will Minson all pre-season, and finally has paid dividends. He's the big target. Well,
the Bulldogs' focus of getting it longer to a contest. They're not worried about going out around the flanks or the wing and
back in the middle. As we start this third term, it's been tough in there. Fisher falling to the ground. Clark. Del Santo just loops one over the top. Montagna drives long towards half forward. Revolt came at it in from the side, though, showing wonderful courage. Has got minds of their own. And there's Callan, who for Geelong, interestingly enough, he's a goer, number 33. He made his debut. Well, Hudson directs it down. Cross couldn't control it. Hudson very good with his second effort. Followed up again. Gives a contest. Quite often gets it out. This is Cooney. Into mine. Spots Hill. Here's a chance around the outer side wing. He can virtually run to the 50 here, Josh Hill. Decided against bouncing it. Perhaps he should have. Fisting away. Hudson back to Hill. Hill finds a way through and kicks a wonderful goal. Magnificent. The highlight of the night. He's about 75 metres out. Brad Johnson to Murphy, who's a long kick. Told to play on, as you can hear. Settles, goes for the kick-off line. Goddard steps away, then comes to the football over the top. Minson crashed the pack. Hayes stood his ground. Clark taken down. Hahn brilliant. Ackermanis, can he conjure something? You bet he can. Dogs
a long way.
So Harvey, the recipient, kicks to Revolt. Morris did well. And then Boyd, who squeezes a little kick out. West has been so important, and so's Cross. Magnificent handball to John Siracusa. Now can he stretch? He does. Graham couldn't quite get to him. White goes for goal. Magnificent.
I definitely didn't see this coming at quarter time. I think the way, and they're
right there, and away comes Hargrave, and he bangs it out wide.
The one thing you can't afford are flight defenders. On the outside, this is West. Hard against the boundary line, comes back towards the middle. The kick goes from Addison. John Siracusa running down towards right half forward, inside the forward 50. Ackermanis sprinting. It is marked just inside the boundary, and this angle not beyond him.
They are a dangerous forward line when they move the ball quickly in there. They've got Gene Siracusa, Acker, Josh Hill's playing out of the goal square. Cooney was in the forward line.
His confidence now would be sky high. Say no more.
And Kilda have got to get back in the game, as if the Bulldogs lose their nerve and stop playing with the same endeavour that they've played with, and that'll give the Saints a chance.
Ball brought down in the tackle, a bit stiff, I think.
Yeah.
Milne very, very clever, and then kicks the ball right to the front of the goal square, but that man Hill, who is just so confident.
Boyd, like a high wire act, just treads around the boundary and goes short to Murphy.
It was tippy toe stuff, wasn't it? No room to move, and then Murphy's good-looking kick finds Welsh. He's off, and then the handball to Addison coming from West. Addison to Ackermanis in the pocket.
Scotty Welsh's intensity then and his effort to play on, he wasn't able to dispose of the ball effectively into the forward 50. He was actually brought down in a tackle, but what it did is another handball to Addison quickly into the forward 50, which gives Ackermanis this chance.
He's kicked 3. Has Acker. Hahn working hard as he's done all night. Hacked out of there by Harbrow. Going, yes! It's a goal!
Fantastic ability there to manufacture an effort out of that stoppage. Is brought in late and has been fantastic, kicking 2 goals and providing that much-needed spark in the forward line for the Dogs.
Kursel, look at the run. Gilby, Addison. Addison goes towards half-forward. Minson in the throes of going forward. Has it 60 metres out. Johnson comes, bypasses that. Hill is lurking. At the back, not required. Welsh 15 metres out. Quiet night tonight. But he's been valuable in the last couple of weeks. 4 goals against Adelaide, 3 against Melbourne. This to really hurt the Saints. Who would have guessed it? A couple
Taken apart.
And you look around at the St Kilda side and you say, OK, where's the spark going to come from? And it's really hard to work out who is going to provide that for them.
Well, Hudson rode the Kosicki knockdown. That was clever. Hudson, Griffin has been so important. Tucks it under his arm, goes for goal and kicks a 3rd.
They've been pillaged. Hudson, he's working on a new manoeuvre, not quite sure what it is. The last couple of bounces he hasn't contested. Griffin to cross, West gets away, spins it out wide. Boyd found space and goes to Cooney. And the crowd now in celebration mode as Cooney pops it through.
It's the big 2. They kicked 5 goals between them in the opening quarter, but not a sniff since.
They've been shut completely out of the game, but I think that's been due in part to the fact that this midfield, this bloke has just been terrific again tonight too, but the midfield of the Bulldogs just got completely on top. They've blown St Kilda out of the water tonight, and they have been hard, they have been aggressive, and that's been a knock on them in the past, the Bulldogs.
This would be Mitch Harm's 13th touch. I reckon he's had an influence on the match like he's had 25. His contests and his intensity's been fantastic.
And Buxy has now kicked 3 very important goals. Number 20, but hasn't had any impact. Raf Clark, who came in tonight for Michael Gardner. Sam Fisher in trouble. Murphy, who had such an influence earlier in this match when the Doggies really needed somebody. Now cross. Goes to Minson in the pocket. Does it get there? No. Good mark in the end. It was a good kick.
Gee, a beautifully weighted kick.
You've got to like Minson, don't you?
Yeah. Now that he's got a genuine, serious, aggressive, big partner, he's become a better player himself.
And as you said, Tim, it hasn't necessarily been anything else but his competitiveness. Both to the ground ball, he's hit hard, and especially in the air. He's brought the ball down and given his crummers a chance. And
you mentioned no Michael Gardner at half-time, Tim, and if they might miss him, the Saints, I think they might have tonight. That's a great kick. Gee, where is the Ox when we need him? Minson driving it home.
Dancing around.
There's a second to go. How good was that? Important. Really good stuff from the Doggies. They would have capitulated last year.